My name is Simone Lovenitti, and I am a PhD student in astrophysics at the University of Milan.
I am Luca Perri. I'm an astrophysicist of the National Institute of Astrophysics, and I am scientific coordinator of Bergamo Scienza, the scientific festival of Bergamo.
Today, we will talk to you about a novel and effective strategy that we adopted to communicate astronomy to a large public, an interactive workshop based on a video game.
Our workshop is named How to Disassemble a Planetary System, and it exploits Universe Sandbox, a commercial gaming software able to reproduce different astronomical systems and phenomena dynamically and spectacularly.
Is it possible to use a video game as an effective tool for communicating astronomy?
Nowadays, scientific computer simulations have reached incredible graphic results, providing detailed visual descriptions explaining the evolution of very complex physics phenomena and implementing the laws of nature. Obviously, for a player, sometimes realism is secondary to the aesthetic of the video game. However, the physical laws hidden within it by teams of physicists, engineers, scientists, and developers can be exploited as an effective tool for dissemination purposes and not only for entertainment.
Universe Sandbox is a physics-based space simulator, a commercial software that can be both on the most common video game platform, for example, on Steam. It merges gravity, climate, and physics law in a virtual environment that can be created from scratch. Of course, it is necessary to have a scientific guide when you use the video game if you want to distinguish between simulation and reality, and to appreciate lots of peculiar phenomena that are represented in the simulations in great detail. On the other hand, spectacular animations and the amazing graphic environment make it easy to convey the passion for astronomy together with accurate scientific knowledge.
What are the advantages and drawbacks of using this software for communicating astronomy?
First of all, it allows to visualize the true scale relations of astronomy. Often people cannot conceive of the actual size of an object or its distance from us simply because they are completely out of our range of experience and imagination. However, by using advanced visual interactive animation, the audience can now have an idea of the true scale relations of astronomy.
The second advantage is that it allows us to avoid the feeling, it's too difficult for me. Lots of people, mostly young students, think of astronomy as something inaccessible to them, but a video game can dispel these preconceptions. Embedded in the software, astronomy seems something easier to handle. Everyone can play with a video game.
Third point, a video game is a new and unconventional tool to be exploited for communication purposes, and this is somehow appealing to the public. In general, it is hard to develop new engaging activities to support astronomy communication. A video game is a very immediate and effective solution, able to complete and renew the more traditional instruments.
On the other hand, there are also some critical issues. The first problem is that the software is very demanding from the point of view of the computational resources. And hence, you need a very high-performance machine, especially if you want to run simulations at very high speed. The software can be run even if the minimum system requirements are not matched by your computer, but in this case, the graphics will not be fluid.
Furthermore, since simulations are very complex and based on a sequence of approximations, the behavior of the software can be different, even if the input parameters are the same. Well, actually, this is not just a problem of the software. I mean, it's life.
What about the structure and the topics of the activity?
We designed our activity in order to set the interaction with the audience at the heart of the experience. With Universe Sandbox, it is possible to create an astrophysical system and consider its evolution in time or the variation of its parameters. But it will be up to the audience to decide what to do and why?
With the software, we prepared a set of dynamic scenes to take the public through a virtual space journey whose main topics were planetary formations, orbits, habitable zones, types of stars, stellar explosions, and asteroid collisions. Starting from these scenes, we involved the audience in creating new simulations. Every idea reported to the guide is recreated in real time into the environment of Universe Sandbox. Everything live.
According to this, every question, argument, or idea from the audience is not answered by words by the relator, but by performing a simulation in Universe Sandbox on purpose. Even the fanciest and odd suggestions were accepted, exploring the effects of physics laws, even in unlikely context. We saw collisions between planets, comets interactions, planetary systems around black holes, frozen or burning worlds, and many other strange situations. Each time, the results were interpreted under a scientific perspective, and the connections with well-known real cases were discussed in detail.
What are the most important results of this approach?
Of course, our workshop provides many important notions in astronomy, but the most important aspect is that with our approach, the public takes so many important messages. We can use astronomy. Often people perceive astronomy as a descriptive science. However, somehow we can now show astronomy in action. By knowing scientific laws, we can use them to understand new phenomena, to make predictions, to simulate processes, and create new possible scenarios that may or may not exist elsewhere. Playing with astronomy is not only a creative process, but could be intended as an experimental activity. In this context, astronomy is almost a hands-on activity.
Another pillar of this activity is to put astronomy in connection with Earth sciences, biology, and climate sciences. Using the software, we can see how slight changes can destroy the conditions of a planet. This awareness can lead people to consider how unique and fragile the conditions on Earth are and what their origins are. And this, as Carl Sagan taught us, can be an effective answer to the "what is it for" problem in communicating astronomy.
We have already tested this activity. We briefly report our experience.
At first, our activity was performed at the National Festival of Science in the city of Bergamo, in Italy. The city was heavily affected by the COVID-19 pandemic, so our activity was delivered online, using a remote meeting connection and sharing the screen of the computer that was running the software. Both school groups, primary to high school, and the general public participated in this activity, and we had excellent feedback from all of them. The workshop helped to reveal both the beauty of our universe and the fragility of our planet, that we must take care. The success of the activity was surprising. Several schools chose to buy the software themselves and asked us to replicate the workshop for their future students. Thanks to the help of the Planetarium of Milan, we extended the duration of the activity for the first 5 months of 2021.
In conclusion, we would like to remark that this activity does not require any expensive or complicated setup, and it is almost costless, as the license of the software is very cheap. Moreover, this activity is very easy to be replicated everywhere, in every context. It can be an in-presence activity if you share the screen with a wall projector, or using multiple displays, or again, with a network of VR headset to create a very immersive experience. On the other hand, if you have a remote session, then you can choose the platform for the connection that you prefer, and then the public can join using their favorite device.
We hope that you will find this contribution interesting and helpful, maybe.
To see a commercial video game operated in real time for communication purposes.